Hi, welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm going to talk more about mortgages, but this time I'm going to talk about the mortgage process and how to go about getting your first approval for your new home. So if that's something that you're interested in, grab a cup of tea as I have. I've got a sneaky snack as well. And let's get into it. So I'm like, Hey, so we've got our cup of tea, we've got our chalky. Let's get down to the details. So number one, we're going to start at the basics, is how much can you borrow? So here in Ireland, we can borrow 3.5 times our salary, whether that's buying on your own or with somebody else. If you're with somebody else, that'll be your salaries combined multiplied by 3.5 times. So the bank are going to now look at your ability to repay. So what does that entail? So say your mortgage repayments are going to be $1,500 a month. The bank are going to make sure that you can pay that $1,500 a month back. And interest rates are about 3% at the moment. The bank are going to put a stress test on that, and they're going to push that up to 8%. And they're going to see if you could pay those repayments if interest rates went up to 8%. So that means your mortgage could be up at €1,800. So you want to show the bank that you can make repayments of €1,800 a month. So whether you're paying rent, you pay your rent, that's proof that you can afford something. And then you add on savings on top of that as well. Other things that will bring your ability to pay down are, number one, if you have a loan. And this is the most commonly asked question. Can I apply for a mortgage? Can I get approved a mortgage if I have debts, if I have a loan? So yes, you can. If you have a home loan, a car loan, a credit union loan, you can be approved. But what it'll do is it'll take that off your ability to pay. So say they've stressed your ability to pay up to €1,800 and your credit union loan is €200 a month, or your home loan, they're going to add that 200 on. So now you're going to have to show your ability to pay would be €2,000. Also, what they take into account is dependents, if you've got children. And this is a question asked on your application form. So for every child you have, they add that into the equation. So if you're thinking of having children, maybe hold off for a little while. If you are pregnant, hopefully that baby stays in there until you have the house. Another question is overdraft. Is an overdraft okay when you're making an application? My answer would be no. To me, an overdraft kind of states that you cannot manage your finances and that your finances are not in good condition. So whether a loan I see as okay, an overdraft I wouldn't. That's just personal preference. Some people have different opinions on this. But for me, I'm putting my application in and wanting to be approved straight away, I would clear my overdraft first. So now you know how much you need to show the bank that you can save. What we want to do is we want to get our bank statements and our finances in perfect order. Like, you know, I work in finance every day, and I know if somebody comes in and they're just an awkward account, you just really, really don't want to deal with it. You'll just, it's awkward, it's annoying. And then you have other customers that their accounts are so nice and clean and you just tick, tick, tick on through. And it's lovely to work with. You want to be that tick, 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 tick account. That's what you want to be. You want to be beautiful. You want to make things so easy to read, and you want to make things so straightforward that they can't ask any questions, that they can't put any of those little red flags on your account. So while I've mentioned red flags, I'll bring up one or two things that is a big no-no when you're making an application, what you don't want to appear on your bank statements. Number one is missed direct debits. You do not want to miss any direct debits, any bills, any loan payments. So for 6 months to a year, you don't want any of that shown. Number two is gambling. So you don't want to show any online activity with betting sites. And that also includes the lotto. That's one thing people don't think of when they think of gambling, is the lotto. So I'm not saying don't do any betting, don't do any lotto. Just go into the shop and do them instead. Do not have it shown on your application. Another thing I'll suggest, and it's just a small thing, it's not a big thing to like not do, but when I was going out on a night out and I was like getting ready for my mortgage application, I would take cash out of the bank, and I would use my money on a night out. I don't think it's good for them to be seen like tap here at 10 o'clock, tap there at 12 o'clock, tap here at 1 a.m. They don't want to see all those little tap, 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 tap transactions. Well, not that you don't want to show them that. You want to show them lovely, clean accounts. Now, they are going to want to see some lifestyle, so definitely do put some things on a card. But what I'll say is, what you don't want them to see, don't let them see it. If you want to do something, take the money out. So we've got the red flags covered. We've covered what you don't want to do. And now we should go through what you do want to do. You want to have your finances set up, as I said, streamlined, easy to read. So what I would do is, as soon as I'm paid every week, every month, however you're paid, I would immediately take my savings money and put it completely aside. Make it very visible what you're doing. And then have your budget of how much you're spending. And if you need to take out cash, take out your cash and leave your spending money in there. Show some lifestyle on your account. They don't want to see that you're saving everything and you've got no lifestyle. So as much as you want to save everything, do show a little bit of lifestyle there. As I said, go out for a meal, go to the cinema. Not all the time, but little bits like that. They want to see that you can afford to live as well as pay your mortgage. So you've done the hard part. You've given up your life for like a year and you've saved all this money and you've got your deposit up. Now you need to put in your application. And the first choice you're going to have is whether, one, you're going to apply to banks yourself, or number two, whether you're going to use a broker. My suggestion is to use a broker. They know the ins and outs of everything. I've done both ways. On my first mortgage, I used a broker. He was absolutely brilliant and he took care of everything. The second mortgage, I switched my mortgage and I did it myself. Oh my God, it was painful. If you would like me to do a video on switching your mortgage, just leave a comment and I can look into doing a video about that as well. So if you're going down the route of a mortgage broker, they're going to do everything for you, but you're going to have to give them the same information that you will give a bank. So number one is going to be your bank statements. So your lovely clean bank statements that you've been working on for the last 6 months. Then you're going to need your deposit ready. Show them that you have the funds available for your deposit. So if you've gone through this process now and you're approved in principle and you're buying a home and you know which home you're going to buy, I'm going to go through a list of costs that I was thoroughly not aware of when I was buying my first property. And we're not talking about little 100 here and 100 there. We're talking about thousands. So be aware. What are these other items and how much do they cost? Number one, stamp duty. So everybody in Ireland has to pay stamp duty on a home, and at the moment it is 1%. So if your property you're buying is 300,000, you will pay €3,000 stamp duty for that home. If your house costs more than $1 million, after you go above the million, you're going to pay 2% on your home. But usually the average person is paying 1% on stamp duty. So the second fee you're going to have is for your solicitor. So solicitor's fees can cost anything from $800 up to $1,600. These are all prices before VAT for your solicitor. This is the fee for looking after the purchase of your home. There's also another side of solicitor's fees, and this is for like searches, land register, interest with the bank, and a few other things like that, like paperwork, stationery, other things like that. And that can come up to another €1,000. So you see now it's adding up. We had 3,000, it's 1,600, we've got another 1,000. it's adding up very quickly. And when you're buying a house, the bank is going to ask you to get the property valued. They want to make sure that you're not overpaying for the property. So this comes to about €250. Then you will also be asked to get a survey of the house. I think in most cases it is nearly compulsory, especially when it's an older home. Plus you want to do this for yourself. You want to make sure that there's not any big issues wrong with the house and get any big surprises when you move in. So that's well worth the money to spend on. And for the average 3-bedroom house in Dublin, you can pay from $350 up to $450, once again before VAT, for a survey of the house. And the last one is, if you choose it, is if you go with a mortgage broker. Some mortgage brokers are free and some mortgage brokers have a charge, usually about €300. In my opinion, the fee of €300, as you see, is very small compared to a lot of other charges that you're paying out for. And I think they are well worth it. They know the ins and outs of the business. We went with a mortgage broker when we were first buying our house, and he was absolutely amazing. If you're living on the north side of Dublin and you'd like a recommendation, contact me and I will definitely give you his number. He was fantastic. So well worth the money, definitely. So as you can see, all those extra costs really add up. And at the moment now, you're up to about 6,000. That's what you're going to need on top of your deposit. So if you're thinking, yay, I've got my deposit, I'm ready to go, you're nearly there. You just got about another 5,000 or 6,000 to save. These are all upfront costs and you're going to need them straight away. And the bank will check that you have these funds available as well as your deposit. Well, that's everything I have for you today. If I've missed anything, let me know below and other people will be able to read those comments and take that away with them. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions around anything that I have said, leave a comment below. Send me a message on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram in the description. Have a lovely day, everybody. Take care. Bye.